You didn't think I was going to come back, did you? Well, I am. Over the past few weeks, I took a step back, not out of uncertainty, but out of intention to reflect, to reassess, and to be honest with myself about where I stand. And today, I want to share that with you. Independent voice has always been space for thoughtful conversations, particularly on issues related to Ethiopia, Africa, and the global narratives that shape how we see the world. But recently, after a very few pointed conversations, right here on my own platform, particularly around identity, civic responsibility, and what it means to take an oath, I had to pause. I found myself asking a question that I have often asked others. Where do I stand? More importantly, am I living out the same expectations I placed on others? That was a real question that needed an answer. Here's my personal truth. I am Ethiopian by birth. I am an American by citizenship. I have lived in the United States longer than I lived anywhere else. I have raised my children here. I've built a life here. And that matters. It does. So that reflection was not about choosing one over the other. It was about balance, integrity, and truth. Because I cannot call for accountability in others without asking the same of myself. Accountability in how I show up in my community, in my neighborhood, in my church, and in society as a whole. What value do I bring? What value do I add? Do I give? Do I take? The idea of assimilation comes to mind, but that's a conversation for some other time. I mention it here because it is part of what led me to pause, to reflect, and to ask where I truly stand within the society I live in. I will return to that conversation. Let me say this clearly. This is not a shift away from the issue I speak about Ethiopia. This is not a change in commitment, not at all. This is a commitment to clarity. Independent Voice will continue to speak on issues related to Ethiopia and Africa because those conversations matter. They do. But it will also engage on issues here in the United States and across the world. Because this is the world I live in. This is the world we live in. So what's changing is not the voice. Independent Voice is here to stay. But what's changing is it's the format and the approach. Moving forward, Independent Voice will include more reflective, more conversational content, not just structural or commentary, but space to think, to process, to engage. Not that we have been that commentary type anyways. I'm also expanding Independent Voice into a podcast. Yep, you heard me. You heard me say that. The Independent Voice podcast will allow for more deeper, more thoughtful conversations, a space where we can slow down, reflect, and engage more meaningfully with issues that matter. The trailer is already live. A very humble trailer is already live, and I invite you to listen and follow along as we continue the journey. I want to leave you with a message. You know, we often hear the phrase, to whom it may concern. So let me offer this message to whom it may concern, and to all who are listening. Have you taken the time to reflect on where you stand? And once again, I don't mean between headlines and between narratives. How do you show up in the world you live in? What values are you modeling? Not just in words, but in actions, in how you live, how you work, and the legacy you leave behind for your next generation and the generation in general. These are not easy questions, but they are absolutely necessary. They are life-changing. They require time, effort to sort through, to ponder, and find your truth. This is not about responding to assumptions. This isn't about external pressure. This is about alignment. That's exactly what I've been doing, trying to find that balance, to align this voice and to be true to self. Independent voice remains what it has always been, a space for thoughtful, honest conversation, grounded in truth, integrity, and lived experience. That will not change. If anything, it will deepen. Independent voice has never been about chasing headlines or following narratives. There is enough of that already. So for now, I'll leave you with anticipation for deeper conversation, more reflection, and meaningful dialogue ahead. So you don't have to choose between the two worlds. You don't. The podcast, by the way, is now available on Spotify and will be available on additional platforms very soon. Take the time to step back, recalibrate, and move forward with clarity and conviction. Find your truth. Not for the world, for not those who are watching you, but first and foremost, for yourself. Because that matters. That conviction is what's going to set you free. That conviction is what's going to get you rooted. That conviction is what's going to help you navigate this complex world of ours. So, with that, this is Independent Voice, and I am Mame. Remember, use your voice to make a difference and never, ever to silence others. Thank you for listening. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America, this world that we live in, and God bless us all. Until next time, stand in your own conviction. Don't let headlines, don't let narratives bring confusion to you. Until next time.